Hello and welcome to CRTV, where Cartoon Drawing reviews TV shows. Underdogs are one of the most relatable, interesting, and well-explored archetypes in all of history. We're all fighting an uphill battle, trying to dismantle our enemies and emerge victorious. And no other 80s classic has explored the concept quite like 1984's The Karate Kid. Following New Jersey native and Italian hothead Daniel LaRusso, who moves to California's All Valley, he must train in the ways of Okinawan karate in order to win a crucial karate tournament, with the help of an unlikely new friend.
Banzai, Daniel-san!
Hey, Banzai!
Banzai!
The successful series spat out a few sequels and spun out of control faster than a crane kick to the face. Then the inevitable reboot came and went with a global scale.
I hate it here! I want to go home!
It was seemingly certain that Daniel-san wouldn't be heard from again. Until, like a headband having Phoenix from the ashes, after a No Way Home, that's not right. After a No More Kings music video, some clowning around on How I Met Your Mother, and a Funny or Die venture, the idea of down-and-out versions of the Karate Kid's former pupils seemed like an idea perfect for the climate of soft reboots and legacy sequels. Terms that have become incredibly popular and profitable with the sea of nostalgia-obsessed nerds.
Hey, cool it with the nerd shit, huh?
Finally, in the latter half of the 2010s, it was announced that the Karate Kid franchise was returning for a YouTube Red series following a burnt-out, middle-aged former foe, Johnny Lawerence.
What?
Man, I've been on the Cobra Kai hype train since this sucker was on YouTube, which thank Mr. Miyagi that Netflix bought it so people would, well, not only watch it, but allowed the show to continue past 2 tiny seasons. So with the show signaling signs of showing mercy, sorta, I figured why not review and rank every episode of its premiere season, because this is one of the—
Quiet!
Yes, Sensei. Flick your shoes off the mat and find your inner balance. This is Cobra Kai Season 1. The show starts with the ending of 1984's All Valley Karate Tournament and that ever-iconic kick, only to bounce into the present day to see how splendid the student of that stylish snake wound up, eating stove bologna and rocking out as a handyman for California's cunty yuppies.
We'll figure this out, all right? Just quit bitching at me.
What did you just call me?
Whoops.
After getting fired and fried, Johnny, played once again by William Zabka, drowns in his sorrows with a little convenience store pizza handled as delicately as Johnny Knoxville riding a bull through a glass factory.
Is Butterbean okay?
He munches on the micro meal nearby a homeless lady, whose name I just discovered is Lynn apparently, and is played by Susan Gallagher.
You ain't hustling no coin at my mark.
I'm not homeless.
She's a fantastic side character that shows up every so often, so figured I'd introduce her.
Oh, you wanted to make her feel at home.
Shut up. At the same time, a bunch of high school hooligans begin pushing around Miguel Diaz, portrayed by Zolo Maridueña.
Oh shit, someone has freaking diarrhea.
We should call him Rhea.
However, history has a fancy way of repeating itself, so as Kyler, played by Joe Show, gives Miggy a Pepto pink shower, it sparks into motion something truly badass. He quickly defeats the wascally rascals, but the Call of the Cobra doesn't protect him from the cops like he's Batman.
Hey, it's not his fault!
So as Johnny faces his first of many concussion-causing knockouts of the series, it makes me realize that in under 12 minutes, the show reforms your entire mindset of the once overlooked 80s bully. We knew where Danny Boy's journey took him after the tourney, but we often forget that on the other end of a victory is someone who took a fat fucking L. Back at home, Miguel begs Johnny to teach him his kick-ass karate, and he tells him to kick rocks. Inside, his shithead stepdad Sid, played by the late Ed Asner, slam dunks the sore schmuck.
Ryder! Lunchtime!
Mr. Fredrickson? To me, this canonically confirms Johnny's Russell and Daniel's Kevin. That night he sings the blues while enjoying the 86 epic Iron Eagle, which is messing with my mind considering Larry B. Scott is in both Iron Eagle and the original Cobra Kai.
Whoa!
The liquid courage mixes with the motivating macho of the movie he's watching, only to get bonsai-balled by a commercial break from the massively more successful Macchio, Daniel LaRusso, portrayed by my cousin Vinny. Oh, and Lawerence wrecks his first TV of dozens, or maybe second if you count the one he mismounted earlier.
This is the wall across from the door.
He does the only thing a man can do in this situation and tosses on the tunes for a late-night drive down memory lane, intercut with a highlight reel of Lawrence's losses in a really creative way. Ironic the guy who's driving drunk got his car hit. The brats bolt and the car is towed to LaRusso's, of course, so he slips into the MCU disguise and tries extracting his wheels. The secrecy is compromised.
Johnny Lawerence, I knew it was you. How the hell are you?
Hey, man.
The two titans size each other up with both a shit-eating grin and look like you just tasted a shit-flavored popsicle. And Danny agrees to fix up his car for free. This bruises our boy's ego more than his face, but thankfully Daniel's daughter Sam, played by Mary Moser, pops in to punch his purpose into gear, and he finally agrees to be Miguel's sensei.
I'm gonna be your sensei.
Amazing opener. Establishes the story, new characters, and reintroduces old favorites effortlessly. Episode 2 opens with Danny's sizzle reel relaying his sizzling wife Amanda, played by Courtney Harnerler, and equally spicy home life. How wonderful. Nothing could ruin this magnificent morning. Well, except for that. Anyway, my man Miggy gets his first lesson. Strike first. Quit waiting and fucking go for it. Also, Sensei J Money is so strong with the Force that he simply cures Miguel's asthma.
You punched me. I have asthma, so...
Not anymore.
For real, that's the last we'll ever hear of Wheezy Deezy. He receives a hot babe's history lesson, and it shows the gap of gab from the 80s blow-filled bonanzas to the present PC perpetuation.
It says that certain words perpetuate the sexist worldview that could trigger...
Quiet!
Pavlov's political correctness? We shoot over to see how the other half lives, rounding out the rest of the LaRusso family, Anthony, played by Griffin Santapietro. Personally, I call him Anthony La Leche, aka Milk, because this punk-ass kid is spoiled.
Dad, where the hell's my drink? Hurry up.
You know what? I'm gonna throw him in the goddamn pool.
In contrast to the chunky kid, Miguel's still chopping away at the chores as Johnny drops another nugget of crucial Cobra content.
Do not question my methods. Just be thankful you're not a sumo wrestler. Those guys have to wipe their sensei's asses.
Never knew that's something to worry about.
Do they really?
Ew.
Oh, I left a rosebud in them for you.
And maybe most menacing is Miguel's musical illiteracy.
Change that ringtone. Get some Guns N' Roses or something.
What's Guns N' Roses?
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
Why are you the way that you are?
The next day, his destiny is sealed as he sits by two homies, Dimitri and Eli, played by Gianni DeCenzo and Jacob Bertrand, respectively. Eli's essentially mute, and the D-Man is an annoying, sarcastic shithead.
Did you ever talk to them, or...?
Oh, yeah, all the time. We hang out after school, make out, give each other hand jobs.
Oh, reminds me of someone I know.
And whomever could you mean? Speaking of mean, the girls go by, and Miguel decides to take his teachings to the next level, only for Kyler to kill the Cobra.
Say goodbye to your kneecaps, chucklehead.
Not to worry, that just means we've got some more work to do, so he's shown the Cobra Strike with a flavor of free fighting advice.
You don't stop here where knuckle hits the bone. Punch through the bone, like the guy you really want to hit is standing behind this asshole.
But King Kyler hasn't concluded his cockiness, as I think this frame perfectly demonstrates with Daniel's ego escaping into the sun.
What about the fish sticks at school?
Oh yeah, fish sticks are dope. You have fish sticks?
We all know what that makes Kyler then.
You like to put fish dicks in your mouth. Yeah, you're a gay fish.
And this insidiously idiotic ingrate inadvertently instigates LaRusso's paranoia to the point he pukes out the idea it was Johnny who started their scuffle. Sensei Lawerence handles it with incredible class.
Just stay away from my daughter's friends.
Your daughter's friends? Yeah, that makes sense. Nice company she keeps.
Maybe Dirty Dan isn't so innocent. You know the show's up my alley when it's only 3 episodes in and it's already Halloween. Yet the scarier situation at the school is the staff's laughable attempts to stop bullying.
Sending a cruel message to someone online can be just as hurtful as saying it to their face.
Great job, the children are saved. Anywho, we see Jean Jacket Johnny on a marketing campaign for the ages, and hey look, it's homeless Lady Lynn again. Except his efforts outweigh the interest.
Want to score those hot babes? Try karate.
Yeah, you know, maybe taking karate lessons from a stranger in the park is a better strategy. Hey, nice headband, bro-ham.
One can only wish for a wingman as badass as Johnny. Bitches. On a more uplifting note, Miguel and Johnny bond over some 80s rock and rad recreations of the CK logo, which is seriously the sweetest shit ever. So they go for a swim in the same spot as the faculty. Although in that movie, I don't remember their arms being zip-tied.
Drowning is for pussies, all right? Don't be a pussy.
I mean, there's no argument there.
Wait, really?
No, of course not, kinda.
Cobra Kai never dies. Say it.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Say it like your life depends on it.
Cobra Kai never dies.
The real takeaway is much more motivating. Massively motivating, in fact. It springs us into montage. But we'll have to cut that short as Miguel's Halloween costume doesn't cut the manly mustard, thus thrusting out a classic from the closet. The bony badass meets up with the boys, and for Samhain's sake, he's already getting his ass kicked. And since it's been 6 whole seconds since Daniel tried tough-guying the gent just trying to get his life in order...
Promoting my business. Why don't you try minding yours?
The nerve of some salesmen.
Why don't you try minding yours?
No. I'm following my daughter around the dance like some damn schizophrenic.
Flying into the 4th, we're greeted by a man-bunned boy at the tech counter with termites in his smile and the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile. Robby Keene, portrayed by Tanner Buchanan. In all seriousness,
Eduardo
is actually Johnny's son, who's content crafting stolen scams and skating up a storm.
What, you looking to take karate?
It's my fucking dad.
Sorry for not mentioning you until now. I didn't forget about you too, Robby. My bad. The hits keep coming as we're shown in a drunken haze that Johnny returning Diaz didn't do all that well in terms of hiding karate from his mom. Therefore, the only reasonable retort is to spray paint a giant, girthy cock on the bastard's billboard. Daniel's definitely upset about this, but thankfully Mommy Manda is here to be the voice of voluptuous reason.
Honey, if they arrested everybody who painted dicks on things, there just wouldn't be any room in the jails for all the murderers.
Yeah, all right.
Plus, graffiti always looks cool, while murder looks cool only sometimes. A recovering Miguel begs his mom Carmen, played by Vanessa Rubio, that the problem isn't principal protection, but more practice and a more confident conflict resolution. Also, I love the smash cut.
If you knew him, you'd see he's a great man.
Who is it?
Shit's like a Garfield strip. Robby's rebellion's interrupted by dear old dad, whose lack of presence, to put it mildly, has estranged this relationship for at least 3 to 4 foreseeable seasons. Johnny jumps to see the ex Shannon, played by Diora Baird, whose floozy findings are almost as saucy as Daniel's current quest.
I guess you must be full after eating all that dick.
I'll tell you what, see, that Karate Kid still got it. Flashing into the cinema, Sam's not feeling Kyler anymore after he double-dipped Dimitri's backpack and lampooned Eli's lip, proving Miguel's previous protective point.
I said, stop it.
Take that, Nancy.
Later on, Johnny sees this adorable display and pours his heart out over the idea of going all in on the one kid that matters most to him. Miguel. Get used to that. Episode 5 fires off with another sleek sequence slithering through the crash course, including the cute notion that opponents will face you fairly and by the book. Like Freddy would say, dream on, bitch. Checking in with LaRusso, he's also being a sneaky snake, but in a more steal your strip mall style. Scratching that for a second, Johnny finally gets a second student in Aisha, played by Nicole Brown. At first he's hesitant since she's an icky girl and they go to Jupiter to get stupider or whatever, but Miggy makes easy work of this mindless argument.
She's a paying customer. But you don't need the money, right?
That and Sigourney Weaver exists. End of argument. Aisha's been bullied belligerently in the background, specifically of the cyber variety.
Mostly online, and they tell me things like I'm ugly and that I should kill myself.
And Johnny has a boomer moment, realizing how pathetic being picked on has become.
What a bunch of pussies. Back in my day, if you wanted to tease someone, you did it to their face.
She's built a stronger stuff, however, and absolutely one of my favorite characters.
Girl's a natural cobra.
Now pulling back to Danny Boy's dubious dealings from before, he managed to weasel his way into the ear of Armand, played by Ken Daviton.
How you going to scratch my balls?
It's almost poetic how slimy DL can be, turning Borat's friend into an enemy, and using a landlord price hike for payback.
Put that guy's beer on my tab. Looks like he's had a rough day.
Gross. It's lunchtime again, and Sam's up shit creek without any scuba gear as her friends of all weight classes wave her away, with Aisha being especially elegant.
You go sit with Kyler. I hear he doesn't mind that you suck.
It's the motherfucking DRE. Dr. Dre, motherfucker.
The tension has reached its peak for all parties as Sam confronts the gelled goober. Miguel makes way as her knight in shining hoodie and raises the room's adrenaline by 1 billion.
I'm ready for your lame-ass card this time.
It's Cobra Kai.
His training takes the tools with trays and enough action to get anyone ready to sign up.
Nomercy!
He rushes to tell his sensei, who gives him his OG karate gi. This celebratory moment is seen by Keen, who was ready to reunite, but now he's ready to bail for good. Sadder still is Daniel going to visit Mr. Miyagi's grave, because Pat Morita, the amazing talent who brought so much life to Nariyoshi Miyagi, unfortunately passed away in 2005. It's a shame, considering he definitely would have been the first actor to sign up for this revival. But his spirit casts a respected shadow over the series with such reverence unmatched by any other current reboot. Plus, had he still been around, Miyagi would body bag every current and former fighter in the whole franchise in seconds. Wouldn't have been fair. Miguel's performance as the cafe killer inspired a whole slew of shitbirds, and Johnny begins the trials. Meanwhile, Daniel's attempting to get his fam to fight him, and Amanda mentions an interesting bit of trivia.
Let's try to remember what happened 10 years ago when you and I hit the mat for a little karate.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Back at the dojo, the fleet is floundering, and when Lawrence lasers in on Eli's cleft lip, Dimitri steps in like the Karen he is.
So I'm not supposed to mention his lip at all?
Johnny explains the real world isn't going to obey to petty ego trips like that, and demos Dimitri. This one's as simple as they come. Have thick skin, or fuck around and find out.
Let that be a lesson to all of you.
I forgot to mention that Robby decided to retaliate against his father abandoning him by going to work for Daniel's dealership. Only catch is that he didn't mention the sins of his father, and they aren't aware of his family tree. He's also a model employee with an impeccable work ethic, so obviously he's made a fool of by Bebop and Rocksteady, to the point he storms off.
Fuck that!
Turns out to be a stroke of luck as far as Dan's concerned, smoothing it over and realizing he might have a sparring partner after all. On the other fist, Johnny sparks up a dialogue with Eli again, except unlike his shameless counterpart, this Lip isn't hot to trot.
Even Lip's tougher than those guys. He's no quitter.
Could you please not call me that?
Excuse me, what?
I said, could you please not call me that?
Oh, you fuck her? What? Did you fuck her?
Lawrence's first lip ends with him suggesting he owns his confidence rather than being owned by his flaws. Carry yourself like the badass you are, and people will respond. Johnny even recounts how he wasn't always the chiseled Greek god of greatness he is before them. Even he, two-time All-Valley champ and Coors Banquet extraordinaire, was laughed at too. His point proves itself as Eli expands his mind and hair with a mohawk haircut and unstoppable gusto.
Hawk.
With it being mere minutes since our last montage, we see Daniel waxing off all over Robby.
No, not like that.
Ah, the parallels to Daniel's young naivete.
I thought you were gonna teach me karate. I'm just doing all your shitty chores.
Things aren't much better in the Snake Den as Sensei learns that most of this group hasn't ever been punched in the noggin.
Unflinch this group.
Yes, Sensei.
While Aisha knocks out some brain cells, Johnny knocks in some wisdom into his star pupil.
Pretty sure no means no. Yeah, if things are getting physical, no means no, but if you're just asking her out.
Advising Miguel never to accept defeat and finally ask out Sam. That successful move means the cycle of chicks causing karate chaos will commence. But we do see some serious growth when Johnny decides to use his words instead of head kicking when he's informed Cobra Kai is perma-banned from the All Valley tournament. He suits up and shows up to the committee meeting, so you know what that means.
Cobra Kai.
Daniel, you made it.
You know I never missed the annual meeting there, Ron.
Daniel's not too far behind. I'm starting to think that when Johnny goes to take a piss, you'd find Daniel hiding beneath the urinal cake. Johnny and his protege use their lips in varying ways to do what they gotta do and get where they need to be.
I'm the man. Oh shit, are you the man too? Tell me you're the man. I'm the man!
Crushing both the date and committee meeting.
Cobra Kai. Never accept defeat.
Now that the All Valley Under-18 Karate Tournament is underway and the training is far from done, the dynamic duo do some more bonding as Johnny gives his side of the iconic story.
What an asshole. I know, man.
This show does the most spectacular job at recontextualizing this forgotten character in a way that the real world would. Every single one of you think you're the hero of your story, and hate to break it to you, but that means you're someone's villain. It's been a long-standing fan theory that it was really Daniel who's the real antagonist of the film, and the evidence is pretty damning. Robby rides in, and boy's a real Casanova. Wonder if these three will wind up in some triangular hormonal conflict. Focusing on Keen's karate, they head out into the woods for some classic Rocky IV methodology. He spiels about balance, demanding you take the good with the bad, or as I like to call it, dudism.
Strikes and gutters, ups and downs.
That night, Miguel goes to introduce himself unannounced at Sam's house, only for miscommunication to strike again, as it appears Sam and Robby have a bit of a connection marinating. We'll get back to that, as at Johnny's apartment, Daniel's cousin Louie, played by Brett Ernst, torches his Firebird alongside the Lollipop Guild. Larry's a little angry, beats the piss out of the Hells Angels, and snags a bike before vanishing into the night. With Johnny on Daniel's doorstep, the rivalry comes to a head with them standing off in front of sitting down for a blissful brekkie where Dan the man acts more like an old married couple with Johnny than his own wife.
You're lucky I didn't kill him.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
Good. I want him to know.
Checking in with Miguel, he's letting his suspicions brew and letting his friends hawk in his ear. Since LaRusso's lineage caused Johnny's car to blow, he lets him take a Challenger as a consolation prize, and the yin and the yang drive by Daniel's old apartment like they're revisiting the Millennium fucking Falcon. But at least this wasn't terrible. They stop for a drink and reminisce.
It's a Facebook.
Wow.
Just as the teens realize what time it is.
It's party time! P-A-R-T. Why? Because I gotta!
And throw a wicked kegger with a side dish of revenge.
No mercy, bitch!
Told you, Aisha fucking rules. Robert Downey and Sammy Davis get to the party where a jealous Miguel's had a few brewskis, leading to what we call in the business an oopsie.
Sam, I'm sorry.
Asshole!
Ugh, it's getting too depressing. Let's multiply it because the drunken, disorderly Daniel brings them back to his house, only for Robby to finally unveil he's from Lawrence's loins. It's just not the way he intended.
Mr. LaRusso, I was gonna tell you.
Is this all just a con?
Yes, but actually no.
It's tourney time, and we see Sensei preparing like a pro.
We're all gonna die!
And as he hypes up his heroes with a speech for the ages.
Life shows no mercy, so neither do we.
He reminds us of our final lesson for the season. Show no mercy, give it all you got, and keep fighting. At the gym, we see Daniel's ego inflate once again.
There he is. Hey everyone, it's the former champ in the flesh.
But would people care about such nonsense 30 years on?
Sure, there will always be Pauly Shores floating around, desperately clinging to days gone by.
Listen, he didn't do anything wrong.
But I'll give it to Daniel. Rather than holding on to one crappy trophy from 30 years ago, I think it resembles his unwavering love and respect for Mr. Miyagi, a man who changed his life for the better. I mean, look at Amanda. Anyways, it's karate time, and as the Cobras and the Keen advance with ease, after a ton of punches, kicks, more punches, and hawk tattoo dances, the herd begins to thin. Even though Bert, portrayed by Owen Morgan, is clearly only going 10% to avoid seriously brain damaging the defenders.
Never go full force.
Never.
Stop doing full force!
The final Fantastic Four consists of Miguel, Hawk, Robby, and Xander. Yeah, I don't know, he's not important. Miggy makes Xander need an X-ray, while Hawk flies into the semis with Fury, and it's nice to see the progress both have made.
It's gonna be your last. Why? Leaving early to fix that stupid haircut?
Robert, my man, you've got no leeway to talk. I mean, this kick seemed only fair for such a disqualifying comment. Rob the Robot gets patched up, pepped up, and given a little placebo Miyagi magic, and it's the moment the entire season's been building towards. Miguel's Cobra Kai versus Robby's Miyagi-Do. Light and dark, good and evil. Only the sides aren't as black and white as a fight card can conjure. They go pound for pound and punch for punch. It's a real gladiator match. Miguel mangles Robby's injured shoulder, so Daniel tells him the 5 Ds like another popular Cobra team faced.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
And he gains the confidence for a 2-legged kick via one fucking arm. The juvenile Jedi is ready to go out on his shield, and as the Venom fully takes over Miguel, he sends Robby to the Shadow Realm. It shatters Johnny's heart, but Miguel getting that taste of victory sure is satisfying to see.
He won, but at what cost?
Back at Cobra Kai, Johnny's hitting the bottle once more, only for a senile snake to slither its scaly shit into the mix.
That the real story's only just begun.
But that'll have to wait until next time.
And that was Cobra Kai Season 1. And wow, what a strong opening string of episodes. From the very beginning, this underdog comes out swinging with fun characters, awesome action, and balances themes and morals without feeling ham-fisted and lame. Johnny Lawerence is by far my favorite character of the season, and huge props to William Zabka. Miguel, Hawk, Aisha, and Amanda come close behind as other favorites. I also counted 6 Miyagi mentions, and I'd rank the season as follows. 10, 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 9, 4, 7, 8. One final shout out to the Holy Trinity who created this badass show that I can't stop talking about. Josh Heald, John Hurwitz, and Hayden Schulzberg. I'm legitimately grateful that they take a show this silly just serious enough to keep it this entertaining.
Kick that pansy bitch in the face.
I'm Confused Reviews. Remember to strike first, and thanks for watching.